Hi everyone, I'm down in my laundry today. I wanted to do a video just to follow up about the whole topic of do-it-yourself DIY laundry soap because there's a lot that I want to share. It's just too much to put in like a recipe video, and I've done a few videos now on the topic of laundry soap with a few different options, and I want to share with you what my favorites are and why, and also just follow up with you a little bit about some more experiments that I did with the most recent one, which was the true liquid laundry soap recipe, the one that was a potassium hydroxide soap, like a proper liquid soap recipe. I've been playing around with that a little bit, and I basically just want to talk about it because there's not really enough time to really go into depth about this topic in the recipe videos. And I try and share as much as I can in my blog posts that I write, with the written recipes on my website that go with those videos. But it doesn't always come across, and people kind of just like to hear people talk about it. So this might be a long video, but I'll give you a bit of a tour. I want to talk actually about my washing, which you can't see, but it's hanging above me here. I will show you that too and talk about kind of how I do my laundry as well. First of all, I just want to say this room is really quite rustic. Please don't judge me for my funny little laundry space. This house is at least 70 years old and it's a very humble home. It's only a 2-bedroom little place, and this laundry is sort of downstairs. You go down like from the kitchen, you go out the back door and then down the stairs. And this laundry is like a semi-outdoor room. It's got some louver windows here going outside and a door there and like a little gardening, mucking kind of area. It's very, very practical. Like I've got tubs of walking shoes and work boots, and I do cure my soap down here as well. I've got some soap, beautiful soap here that I made for my friend and also for my mum just the other day. So I leave my soap down here. And I've got a really simple setup here. We have a dryer, which we hardly ever use. We bought that when Brisbane had really extreme flooding back in 2012, but we hardly use it. We have a washer. This is an ASCO high efficiency 7 kilo front loading washing machine. In Australia, we don't have like HE washers, high efficiency. Well, I don't think we do. Well, we have them, but we don't call them that. So I know that in the States, a lot of you say, do these laundry soap preparations work for HE washers, high efficiency washers? I think my washing machine is a high efficiency washer. It's certainly rated very highly in terms of water use and electricity use. It uses very low amounts, compared to a traditional top loading machine. In Australia, we pretty much call them top loaders or front loaders, and generally speaking, it's the front loading machines that are the more efficient, high efficiency machines, which is what I've got. And this is an ASCO model. I've had it for a long time now. It's a a more expensive brand to buy, but you tend to get many years of use out of good quality machines if you can get them. The reason why I have towels over everything in here, it looks a bit daggy, and my toilet paper box here. I'm sort of bearing my soul here a little bit, guys. I am a little bit of a hippie. Everything is eco-friendly and recycled and all of that as much as possible. So my tastes and the things that I say in this video may not align with some of you. You're probably going to have really different situations to me. But I'd like to talk through this laundry soap use in terms of the context, because the context that you live in, your life, your setup, how much time you have available, how much washing you need to do, all of these things actually have a really big impact on whether or not you may choose to use make your own laundry soap in the first place, and whether or not it's actually going to suit you. But back to the towels. The reason why I have towels over everything is because this is a semi-outdoor area, and we have a lot of Asian geckos, these little lizards, like so many of them, and also frogs and all sorts of critters come into this room at night, and they poop. We say poop in Australia. I know you say poop in America. It probably sounds really funny with my Australian accent, but we say poop, and they poop all over everything. So there's these little gecko poos everywhere, which is so annoying. Also, Kevin the cat, he's not here now. He may make an appearance, who knows? But he loves to come and sit on the laundry, on the washing machine. I think he just loves the sunlight and the fresh air. So I put towels on things, that way I can sort of shake the towels and just run through the wash every now and then. All right, I think the first thing that I want to say is that DIY laundry, liquid laundry soap, homemade laundry soap preparations are not for everybody. Okay, I have got, and I want to give you permission to not feel like you have to do this if you don't want to, if it doesn't suit your lifestyle, if it doesn't suit the amount of time you have available to make this stuff, because it takes time. My situation, in this house lives 2 adults, myself and my husband Jim. We don't have children. We have a cat, but we don't have dogs, and we don't have lots of towels that we're washing all the time. We do wash our towels fairly frequently, but we don't have a really, really high load of laundry. We probably between us do, maybe some weeks we might do 4 loads a week, depending on work clothes, because Jim is a scientist and he does a lot of field work, and on his field work weeks he wears really heavy duty work clothes, and they get really grimy and sweaty and sunscreen stained and pretty gross really, so that does take a little bit more washing. But I try and wear my clothes as many times as I can, which you can't really do in summertime here. It's too sweaty and disgusting to be able to do that, but in wintertime I probably have less washing on a weekly basis than I do in summertime. But the big picture is that we don't have lots of people's clothes to wash. We have one bed. We share a bed. We're husband and wife. So we only have 1 set of sheets to change weekly when we change our sheets. We don't have lots of beds to change and all of that. So we don't have a really high load. And for that reason, the time it takes for me to make my laundry soap and get it ready and to use it, sorry, that's my neighbour laughing. I don't know if you can hear him. He's got a really funny laugh. The time that it takes me to make this stuff, it's not too bad. I don't go through it super fast because there's only 2 of us and we're not doing, 2 loads of washing every day. And also I'm making my soap anyway, and generally it's not too much of a chore to be able to make it. If you have a large household with multiple family members, multiple beds to change the sheets, lots of washing generally, you might find that you either want to make lots, make really big batches of this, like bigger than the size batches that I make. And if you're making the recipes that start off with bar soap, you might want to make really big batches. Or you might decide that it's not for you. It might be too much of a pain. And I go through periods in my life where I buy laundry detergent powder, usually powder over the liquid, because I can recycle the boxes, the cardboard boxes that the powder comes in, whereas the liquid I end up with these plastic bottles that, it's just so much recycling. And even though they go to recycling, our recycling infrastructure in Australia is nowhere near to the point that it needs to be to cope with all the amount of stuff that we give it. So I try to reduce the amount of waste that goes not only to my general waste bin but also to my recycling, try and keep that as low as possible. So I buy the powder because then it comes in cardboard boxes and I can shake those out. I can even rinse any laundry residue out and I can rip them up and put them in my garden because I have a compost system. Not everyone's going to have that, but that's what I do. So there are times in my life where I use laundry powder from the shop. And that's fine. I don't always make my own. I've been making this sort of stuff many, many times over the years, and it's probably about a 70-30 split. About 70% of the time I use my own, and then I go through periods where I just need a break from it and I just buy, a reputable kind of eco-friendly brand of laundry powder from the supermarket, and I use that. But eventually I tend to go back to this stuff. In terms of performance, I want to talk about the different options, and there are more options than I've made videos about on this channel, but I just want to talk through the main sort of options that I have tried that I really like and tell you which ones I think are the best and the easiest to make. Probably my favorite recipe so far to both make and use is the first liquid laundry soap video I made last year in 2023, the one that turned to gel. That's actually my favorite recipe to make and to use. It is made with bar soap, so laundry bar soap, and this is, I always have this stuff on hand. I use it for just about everything. Like, it's a good all-purpose cleaning soap, and it's usually 50% coconut oil with the rest of the oil amount just a combination of soft unsaturated oil, so whatever I've got to use up basically. And I did make a video about how to use up old oils, and I turned that into a laundry soap. I paired up my old oils. I had some old canola and sunflower oil, whatever I had, I can't remember now. And I used that with 50% coconut oil, and that's a really good all-purpose soap. Make it with a zero super fat, and that's really good. So I use the bar soap, and I grate the bar soap. I melt that with hot water, and then I add that to a solution of washing soda, otherwise known as sodium carbonate, and I mix those two together, and then I end up with this. So this, today here in Brisbane, it's probably getting close to 29, 30 degrees Celsius here now. It's late morning, it's like 11:30 or something, which is, I think, about 85 Fahrenheit. So it's not extremely hot, but it's pretty warm. It's very, very high humidity, like in the 90s, super, super high humidity. You can see in this temperature down here in the laundry, this is well and truly liquid enough for me to pour. So it's really easy to use. And this was made with bar soap that was a 50% coconut oil recipe. In summertime, it's liquid enough to pour. In wintertime, because I did use this through last winter, I just saved this last bottle for the follow-up kind of video, it turned into a much thicker gel, and I had to melt this. Like, I just left it sitting out in the sun for a while last winter, and I poured it into a container like that, like just an old ice cream bucket, and I was then able to scoop it. It was very easy to scoop. This recipe with only a 50% coconut oil bar soap is really easy to scoop, no problem. It wasn't too hard at all. So yeah, in wintertime or in cold weather, this will, depending on the bar soap recipe used, this will turn into a gel, which is frustrating for people who want something that they can pour. However, this is really easy to make, because if you just make the bar soap and you make loads of that, make it in a big slab, make big batches of it, and then you have it on hand. You've probably already got this on hand because you're probably using it for other things around the house. Like, this is a good general everything soap, really. Then when you need your laundry liquid, you just grate up a bar or two and then melt it, mix it all together, and you're done. The other reason why I like this one the best is the performance of it. It works beautifully. It works really, really well. I don't have any issues at all with how this works. Comparing this to the True Liquid Laundry Soap, the most recent video that I shared just last week, which is this one, which had the slight little fatty layer on the top, which is all right. Whoops, I shouldn't have shaken that. I've got big bubbles now. So this recipe is just soap. There's no washing soda added. It's fine. I have used this over the years. Like, years ago I made lots of this, and I've been using it a little bit since I made that last video. It works quite well. It works really well. You've got to get the dosing right. You may need a little bit more of this than you would need of a washing soda mixture version. Because this is just plain soap. There's no washing soda, there's no borax, there's nothing else added to it. But this is a true liquid and it's going to stay liquid. You can have this in a really cool environment and it will not solidify. So if you want a true liquid soap that is going to stay liquid and that's going to be the easiest for you to use, this is the recipe for you. You don't get the added benefit of the washing soda added, but you can add some dry powdered washing soda to your machine as well as this if you like, or you can do what I did last week just because I couldn't help myself, and I tested out the new liquid soap recipe, like the potassium soap, and I added some washing soda to it, a washing soda solution. After I did that, I put it in the fridge because I wanted to see what would happen if it got cold, whether or not it would turn to a gel, and it went really quite solid, which the liquid soap by itself wouldn't have done. And this is what I'm left with, this funny kind of jelly mixture. So it seems to me that the washing soda, adding the washing soda to your preparation, whether it's a true liquid soap mixture or it's made from bar soap, either way, add washing soda and you're going to get some gelling. Well, here comes Kevin. He's going to want to join in now. So you're going to get some gelling with that. All of this really comes down to what you feel like doing. Personally, I think any combination of your homemade laundry soap and some washing soda is going to do a pretty great job. Maybe one day I'll share a video about it, but years ago I made a laundry gel and it was meant to be a gel. I made it with a bar of Sunlight soap and it also had borax and washing soda, and I poured it into a bucket knowing that it would be gel, and I scooped it out and it was really, like, it was quite firm, but you could loosen it up and scoop it, and it was fantastic. I really loved using that. That was so good. And you will find that if you make the bar soap version of this, you know, the first liquid gel video that I made, it's a bit confusing with all these videos. I will link them all below so you can see, and I'll clearly state which one's which, and you can test them all out and see which one you like better. So the thing to know about this is that if you use a 100% coconut oil soap, which a lot of people make for a laundry soap or for a cleaning soap, because coconut oil does make a very nice high cleansing soap. If you use 100% coconut oil soap and you try and make a laundry liquid preparation with washing soda added, it's going to form a really hard gel, which might not be so easy to scoop. So keep your base laundry soap recipe to 50% or a lower amount of coconut oil, and use soft oils, so liquid sort of plant oils for the other portion. Don't use palm oil or tallow because they're high in saturated fats too. So any saturated fats are going to make a more firm gel, basically. So you want your 50% coconut oil for the cleansing, but you want some unsaturated fats, so some liquid oils for the remainder of your recipe to keep your gel scoopable. That's the trick. And when you make it, don't pour it into jugs like this. Pour it into an open container, a small bucket, you know, a food storage container, an old lunchbox, anything that you can find. An old ice cream container is perfect, and put a little scoop in it. Don't mind these, they're a little bit dirty, but this is just my little container that I have beside my sink that I use. I don't know, just keep these. I've got different, these are just laundry scoops from laundry powder boxes that I bought. I think these are about a quarter of a cup, these small ones, but this is a 1/3 cup measure, and for the liquid gel preparations I've been using about 1/3 cup or 1.5 third cups, depending on the size of load and how soiled they are. And yeah, you just, if you've got the gel and you've got it in a container, just scoop it out with your measure and it should be liquid enough to just scoop and put into the dispenser. Simple, really easy. So even though I made a recipe video for it, my least favorite is just the plain true liquid soap. And mostly that's because of the process and the convenience. It is harder, like it's a less efficient process to make big batches of liquid soap. Depending on your setup and how big your batches are and how big your pot is and all of that, and how you sort of handle that process. But I find it a lot easier to make my laundry soap from the bar soap than the liquid soap version. So I really just did this for those of you who did want a true liquid soap. And there are situations where this would really be good. If you make... There he is. Hello. You're a bit dirty. I'm going to put cat fluff all over everything. He's been rolling in the garden, I can tell. He's got little bits of garden on him. You going to sit down? Hey. Good boy. I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, so the situations where this true liquid laundry soap without the washing soda added could be really, really well suited is if you like making liquid soap and you don't find it too hard to do the potassium soap. You could probably make big batches of soap paste and then dilute them bit by bit, store the paste and just dilute them as you needed. That's one way around it. But if you don't mind that process, this could work really well for you if you've got soft water. So if you have rainwater, you might live on a farm and you've got rainwater tanks, and you don't need that extra water softening kind of action of the washing soda, which is in these ones. This cat is so cute. Oh, precious boy. Yeah. The plain liquid soap, it will be effective if you have the right water. But if you have hard water, lots of minerals in your water, which I have moderately hard water. We're just on the city water here in Brisbane. I find the washing soda ones, the clothes just seem to come out a bit, I don't know, I can't explain it, but a bit fresher. Visually I can't really tell much difference if they're actually cleaner, but I don't know, they just smell a bit fresher, and I feel like it's just got a bit more oomph, a bit more power to it. So I tend to like that. The other thing that's really, really important to say about all of this is that with any DIY laundry soap recipes that you make, with any laundry products that you use, I highly discourage anybody from using fabric softener. People ask me all the time, do I get build-up? Do I get build-up with this? And I have used this enough over a very long, 10 years I've been making my own soap. And I might have been making this sort of stuff even before that, using commercial laundry soap. It's been a long time that I've been using this, 70% of 10 years, that's 7 years that I've used my own stuff for my laundry. And I must admit, even though my laundry is a little bit daggy and rustic looking, I'm pretty fussy. You've probably seen in my videos, I like things to be neat and tidy and clean. I've got pretty high standards for my laundry. I wouldn't really tolerate using a product if it didn't do the job. Yeah, I never have any problem with build-up. We wash the towels every week, sometimes more, depending on how hot it is and how much we're using them. There's never any issue with water absorbency. My towels absorb water beautifully. We don't use fabric softener though, because I think that does leave some residue in your wash, and it will reduce the absorbency of your towels, and I just don't think you need it. I think some people use fabric softener because they really like the fragrance of it, and maybe they're used to it. In my family growing up, Mum never used fabric softener. We just didn't use it. We just used the laundry soap powder, and that's all we did. And I guess I was brought up with just enjoying the smell of clean washing, clean, fresh washing that just line dried. It just smells fresh. It doesn't have a particular fragrance to it, but it smells clean and fresh, and that's all I'm really looking for. And I would say it's really important for people to remember too that everything you put in your washing machine, everything you put in your kitchen, everything you put on your body, your hair, everything when you have a shower, it all goes down the sink. it all ends up in wastewater treatment, and it all has to be treated, and then it all eventually goes out to sea. And, you know, I think the general community is gaining much more awareness about environmental issues these days, thankfully. But I think it's important to try and be as minimal as you can with what you're using. Use something that works. Use eco-friendly brands if you can, and don't use products that you don't need. Extra fragrances, extra chemicals and stuff to make your towels a little bit softer or smell a little bit more. I don't know about you, but for me, I don't think it's necessary. I'd rather keep things simple and just be happy with really fresh, clean smells. Like that, to me, that's a smell of its own. It's just freshness. Instead of fabric softener, what I use is I just buy white vinegar, just the cheapest white vinegar. This is just from Aldi, and I water it down with water. So it's half vinegar, half water, and I call this my fabric softener. It actually does soften the fibers of your fabric a little bit because your handmade soap is alkaline. It has a pH, depending on whether you add washing soda to it or not, but it's going to be somewhere between 8 and maybe 11 on the pH scale. Vinegar is acidic, so this does help sort of neutralize the pH of your clothes, even though they're going to be rinsed thoroughly, hopefully, so you won't have any soap remaining. But it does actually soften the fibers a little bit. It also helps clear out any residue that you might have in your machine. I use this stuff, as I've said, for years and years, and my washing machine is shiny. There is no residue, there is no soap scum. It is perfectly clean. There's no issues with it at all. So yeah, just get yourself an old vinegar bottle and just top it up 50, tip one into another empty bottle, top it up with 50% water. You don't have to measure it, just eyeball it. I fill my vinegar to about there and then fill up the rest with water. And then I keep all these things on my little table in here, and that's all I have. The other thing to say, just finally, I'm going to have to end this video because I'm starting to get sweaty. I've got the air conditioning on upstairs. You might be able to hear the solar inverter making its noise there. But yeah, the aircon's on upstairs, but this is like outdoors down here. It's getting a bit warm. Just finally, I want to just give you a few little tips about how to do your washing or do your laundry in a way that will help your clothes last longer and that will work really well using these DIY products. Firstly, I always separate my clothes by the color. I do keep black things separate. Any really, really dark colored clothes, I put them separately. I sometimes separate by texture. So if I've got a load that has a lot of jeans, work clothes, heavy denim, like old towels, stuff like these laundry towels, stuff that is fairly heavy, robust material, I will just put them on their own. And if I've got another smaller load with more delicate fabrics like t-shirts or more sort of soft fabrics, t-shirts and underwear and stuff like that, I will do that separately so that my slightly more delicate fabrics don't get roughed up by too many jeans. I will separate them. I don't always separate them. If I've got a load that is mostly softer fabrics and one pair of jeans, I will put the jeans in a wash bag. I will separate them out and just give a little barrier around the jeans so that they don't wreck my other clothes. I'm slightly obsessed with laundry, and so I have a collection of wash bags. But I use these all the time, and I've had these for years. So I just use these wash bags. I've got different sizes, different shapes. I actually bought that one in an op shop, secondhand. This is a small one. So yeah, I use if I've got one pair of jeans, I might just put the pair of jeans, depending on how big they are. Jim's jeans, his jeans wouldn't fit in there, but mine would probably. Put them in there. Or if I've got mostly sort of heavier stuff and just a few delicates, I'll put the delicates. If I've got a t-shirt and some socks and some underwear, I might put that in a wash bag. And sometimes in my loads I'll use multiple wash bags, and that does help protect your clothing. The other thing too is if I'm washing clothes with any dyes in them, so anything that's not white, I always use cold water. Always use cold water. I find that stains are removed much more easily in cold water than hot water, and your colors will last a lot better if you don't use hot water. If any of our clothes have any stains, I usually just use cold water. Always use cold water on stains. Cold water, and just in the sink here, I just rub a little bit of my laundry soap on there and just give it a little bit of a spot, just a gentle little kind of rough up the material a little bit, and then put that in the wash, and that stains will usually go. I do sometimes cheat, and also Jim sometimes really likes to use this. I don't like using this. I hate the packaging, but sometimes I do buy a pre-wash stain remover thing. This one's Ultra Degreaser Dyson from Aldi. Jim does like this, but some of his work clothes have really extreme greasy stains from sunscreen. Like, he is really fair and has to wear a lot of sunscreen just to protect his skin. Both of us do, unfortunately. And sometimes he does use a bit of this stuff, but I try and avoid using this. I try and make this stuff last as long as possible. And really, we only really use this if we're just feeling really busy or tired or lazy. But generally, I try and both of us do try and use this soap because it works. You know, you can see the stains coming off straight away when you use this, and then you're adding a little bit of extra soap on the fabric into the wash, so that works really well. But you know, like, I'm not perfect. I'm not all DIY. I pick and choose. I go in and out. You don't have to be all one thing or another. You can, you know, you can be human and take shortcuts and buy products from the shops if you want or you need to, or if it just, you know, depending on your life situation. You don't want to stress yourself out with more work to make everything yourself. I would love to make everything myself, but I would have to clone myself 5 times to be able to make all the things that I would love to be able to DIY myself. There's just not enough time. Even if I wasn't working outside of the home, even when I wasn't and I was just doing Ellie's every day full time, it's a full-time job just looking after a household and cooking good food and getting the basics right, let alone doing everything DIY. So, you know, just go easy on yourself, and it doesn't matter. I'm certainly not going to judge you. I'm not a perfectionist when it comes to any of that, and we've all got a different situation, so we do the best we can. So I'll just give you a little tour of the laundry so that you can just kind of see the whole picture. So this is our really simple laundry. Oh, Kevin's decided to get up there. Are you hopping down, Kevy? So this is our really simple little setup in our laundry. There's our dryer with our box of toilet paper on the top. And this is our washing machine. We just keep the towel off, as I said, to keep the gecko poo off it. And this is an Asco machine. Apologies, it's a little bit grimy, but I just leave it open in between washes so that it can dry out. And you can see inside here, like I've had this machine, I don't know, about 7 or 8 years, and look how shiny that is. I didn't do anything to this, like it's a little bit dusty on the seal, but that's how clean my machine comes out after using this. There's never any gross residue or anything. It always comes out perfectly clean. So there's no issues at all. And this is my little table where I just put all of my bottles of all my mixtures. They all just sit there, and my pegs. There's my soap that I made the other day. Once that's cured, it'll go upstairs, cured for a little bit. That's my dehumidifier down there, and just, you know, rubbish bin. Very simple setup. And here's the laundry up here. I think I've showed this in another video, but you can see just a bit of a mixed load there of jeans and towels, and Jim's work clothes. Some of them are stained. These are old gardening clothes, so some of those stains never come out, but these jeans were so filthy. They were really filthy, and they came out perfect. And I did use the washing soda version of the new liquid soap recipe with those. There's a high-vis worktop that's, you know, been used and worn a lot. It came out really good. There's no more sunscreen stains. It's pretty fresh, and just some towels and things. And Yeah, I did have a stain on those blue shorts as well that I got out with the bar soap before I put it in. And those are a couple of our kitchen cloths that I soaked for a bit and then put them in the wash as well. Everything comes out really good. What do you think, Kevin?